It's another day. My people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Beatrice Nyager. Again, I'm a USA nurse. I studied in Kenya. I worked in Kenya for about 11 years before I relocated to the United States of America. I'm in Virginia State, and that's where I practice. I'm a travel RN. I have done my BSN. And so yeah, I'm here with another video today. Like I promised in my previous videos, that I am going to talk about issues that are coming up or issues that I've been addressing on individual basis. And because the number of people that are talking to me, the people that are calling me, asking me to guide them on how they can come to the United States is growing, I decided instead of addressing these issues personally, I am gonna record a video so that anybody who wants to know what's going on, they can reference to that video and get some more information. So today we'll be talking about how I managed to relocate into United States. So I'll start by saying there are so many agencies that are recruiting nurses to come work in foreign countries, United States being one of them. And there are two ways you can come here as a Kenyan RN. First of all, you must be a certified nurse in your country of origin. From Kenya, you're from Zambia, you're from Zimbabwe, you're from Nigeria, Ghana, wherever. You must be a certified RN. And when I say a certified RN, you must have had a diploma, you must have had a degree. They are not taking anybody who has a certificate. You must upgrade for you to qualify to come here to work as a nurse. So once you have made sure you have those qualifications, then you can get an agency of your choice to help you come here. Personally, I came here with Advanced Healthcare Professionals. There are so many agencies. We have a Devier, we have Passport USA, we have MedPro, we have many Interstaff. We have so many agencies that are recruiting nurses to come to work in United States. So once you have identified which agency you want to come with, then go to their website and apply. I get to realize and understand that some of these agencies are even coming to the specific countries to recruit nurses from there. For example, I'm aware Avant is going to Kenya, is been to Philippines to recruit nurses. So look for those opportunities whereby maybe they are coming to the country, or go online and apply. Once you apply, you will be asked to attach your resume. And with your resume, they will look at it and they will be able to see whether you have the right qualifications for them to be able to absorb you into the program. So what they do, for example, in my case, they called me after they had received my application with my resume. They called me and verified the information that I had given them. And after that process, they assigned me to do an exam. So there are two exams that I had to do. I had to do a clinical exam, like for example, a med-surg exam that will test your knowledge. And then there was an English proficiency exam whereby I had to do an English exam just to see the basics of English. You know, it's not a very tough exam. It's just to see the basics of your English. And so once you have done those two exams, and then they usually will confirm the kind of hospital you're working for or the kind of the health institution you're working for. And I believe, and most of the time they are going for private hospitals. They also go for government hospitals, but I believe it's from a level 5 or something like that. So they'll look at the hospital you're working for and make sure the hospital meets the standard that they require for the nurses that they are recruiting. And so once they confirm that you're working for an institution that they are comfortable getting a nurse from, then they'll go ahead and you'll go ahead and sign a contract. Once they have confirmed that they have the right person, you go ahead and sign a contract with them, agreeing that you're ready to work with them to help you relocate to the United States of America. And once you've signed your contract, then they'll start preparing you for an exam we call NCLEX. For you to practice in this foreign country, you have to have done NCLEX so that you can be able to practice as an RN. So they'll prepare you for your NCLEX. And how do they go about it? I don't know about the other agencies, but what I know with Avant, they will send you books. You'll have weekly assignments that you're supposed to submit. You're supposed to do those assignments, do the tests, submit them, and there's a pass mark. And if you're meeting your assignments, targets, and everything else, then you're good to go. So you have really to be on top of the game. You to be on top of what you're doing, on top of your assignments, on top of your tests. You have to be on top of everything, because this will determine how soon you'll be able to go do your NCLEX. This will determine how soon you will be able to, move to the next step. While you're preparing for your NCLEX, you're also at the same time supposed to submit your documents, like, for example, your passport, your family. If you have a family, your dependents, you're supposed to submit their passports, their documents, the like birth certificates and everything else. There's a certain a number of documents that they'll ask you to submit for them to be able to start off your process. So what do you need? So if you already made up your mind that you want to relocate, just make sure you have a passport. Make sure your family members have a passport. Those are the bare basic requirements that they will need, or things that might take your time. Passports nowadays are taking quite a while for them to be processed, or so you need to have them ready so that when they ask for your passports, you have them ready. Yeah. So once you're ready to test, and you've done your you're revised for your NCLEX, they'll do something called visa screen. What is visa screen? They usually work with an organization here in the United States called CGFNS. CGFNS is supposed to verify your documents, your certificates from Kenya. These documents are sent directly from your school. They'll send your transcripts, your certificates to this organization here in the United States. They will go through them, confirm that you went to school, you're qualified, and you can test for NCLEX. So once all that is done, they give you something called ATT, attestation to test. This means that you're ready to test for NCLEX. So the duration for testing, or like when you're supposed to go for your testing, will vary. Like, for example, for me, I started my preparing for my NCLEX, or I applied with my agency when 2016 was January 2016. Yeah. So January 2016 is when I applied with Avant Healthcare. And it took me about a year, because I did my NCLEX 2017 May. My ATT came in actually May, and I did my exam in June. So that was like 1.5 years before I did my exam. So the process, it depends. The process where some people will take between, and it depends with the agency, it will take between 6 months to a year to a year and a half. It depends. Mine took 1.5 years. I've had some people, theirs have taken like a year or so. So it all depends. Different agencies, different people, depending with your speed, how fast you submit your documents, how fast you do your studies, how fast, that will also determine how soon you're gonna do your exam. So Once you've received your ATT, your agency will book you to go do your exam. And in Kenya, we do not have a testing institution. It has to be a certified institution that does the NCLEX. And back in Africa, I'm aware of South Africa, I'm aware of India. Those are the two institutions or two countries that I know we have institutions that are testing for NCLEX. I'm not sure whether there is any other that has come up, but as per that time, those are the two institutions that I knew. So as for me, I was booked to go do my exam with my agency, which was Avant. They paid for my travel to India to do my exam. They paid for my hotel. I only had to pay for my meals. So it varies with the agencies, varies from agency to agency. Some of the agencies you have to pay for these services for yourself. You have to pay for your flight. So they paid for my flight, they paid for my hotel, they paid for my exams. So some of the agencies, I understand they don't do that. So get to know, depending on what agency you're working with, whether they will be paying for your, what services they will be paying for, so that you know how to plan yourself. Relocating to the United States, to these foreign countries, requires you to have some amount of money for you to prepare for this. So just try to understand your agency first, so that you're well prepared before you start the process. So I went to India, I did my exam, my results were out, thank God I had passed. And as soon as I had passed my exam, so my agency took over and started submitting my document to the to the visa center. So once to the embassy, once you've passed, then they start the process of the embassy. And as they do the process of the embassy, they have to also make sure that here in the United States, they submit your results to one of the states that is going to get your license. So they start working on the license. So once you have passed, remember, they worked with the CGFNS to make sure your documents are right for you to be able to test for your exam. So once you have passed, they also work with one of the states here in the United States for them to process your license, your first license, for you to be able to practice here. So when your case is going on at the visa at the embassy, then they are working on your license. So once your documents are submitted at the embassy, so timelines vary. As for my case, it took more than a year for my case to be complete. I get to understand nowadays it's taking a shorter time. There are nurses who have come to this country, their process has taken as short as 1 year, as short as 1.5 years. Mine took a whole 3 years for me to find myself into this country. So different agencies, different situations, it depends with also the embassy. During our time, there were so many cases, there was a lot of backlog, so it took a long time. But I understand currently it's not taking such a long time. I'm not sure of the timelines, but I understand it's not taking as long as my case took. So once your case is complete with the embassy, and they have given you a go-ahead to go to the next step of being booked for an interview date, you're supposed to have done medicals. So this process is step by step. So your agency will tell you. You always have an assigned person who will work with you step by step. When you get to the visa step, there's somebody who will guide you on step by step. So they'll tell you, oh, right now your case is complete, we are going to the next step, and the next step is waiting for a date for you to test. And as we wait for the date to test, you need to do your medicals. So there are some of the things that you're supposed to accomplish when it comes to medicals. You're supposed to have your vaccines up to date, your family vaccines up to date. You're supposed to have all the vaccinations done. You're supposed to have physical exam done. So there's a medical center in different countries where you're supposed to go have your exam done. Your family members need to do the same. You go with your family members, they have your medicals done, and once you've been cleared from the medicals, then you have your date to go and do the interview. Once you've been you go for your interview date, then and you have passed. That's the most exciting point. You have your interview, you have passed with your family, so you'll be waiting for your agency to book for you to come to, you know, to the state you're supposed to come. As for my case, I was supposed to come here earlier. I wasn't supposed to come with my family. Other agencies, you're allowed to come with your family members because you maybe were not required to do transition like for my case. So for my case with Avant, I was supposed to come earlier, do something we call transition. What is transition? When you come to this country, they'll put you in some apartments. They have apartments where they keep you for some time. Like for us, it was 6 weeks, and they take you through the things, what to expect when you're in this country. Culture shock. They take you through some of the equipment they have in the hospitals, how to relate with staff. You know, it's a foreign country. You don't know what to expect. You know, some of the equipments they use are totally different from what we have back in our countries. So they'll take you through that. They'll take you through the hospital process, policies, and everything else. Of course, different hospitals have different policies, but there are those common things that are expectations for most of the hospitals. So they'll take you through that, and after that, they'll also make sure you, like for my case, they had to make sure I've done my driving. So they will assign you classes with drivers to make sure you have your driving license before you go to the specific state that you're supposed to be working. So by the time I left the state of Florida, where we were doing our transition, then I moved to Virginia. I already had my license. While you're doing your cultural transition, they also help you to identify a car of your choice that you're supposed to use, you know, when you come here. It's very, very, very difficult for you to rely on, you know, public transport to go to work, because you're supposed to be at work by 7 p.m. or by 7 a.m. You maybe call, for example, Uber or, you know, a taxi to take you to work. Maybe they get late. By the time you're getting to work, it's late. Or you're relying on a bus to take you to work and it's late. You know, some of these things. So they make sure you have a car to take you to work for convenience. I don't know, most of other agencies, I'm not sure whether they do the same. But for my case, we had to have a car. So they make sure you look for a car from where you are into the state, so that by the time you're landing into your state, you go pay for your car and you know, get your car. You already did your driving. They usually give you they usually sponsor us for a car. With Avant, they sponsor that for a car. So they give you a credit card with an amount of money that you're supposed to get a car, and this is not free, so you have to pay for it. It's a credit card that you're supposed to pay. So they help you start off your life. So sorry, I forgot to tell you that before you come here, there's a certain amount of money that you're supposed to have. So there's a specific amount of money that you're supposed to bring with you for you to be able to survive, because everything is not free. They'll give you a credit card for you to start off your life with a car. They'll give you another credit card that you're supposed to, you know, buy a few things here and there. But that is not all. You need to pay for your house. You need to pay a deposit for your house while you're still wherever you are. Like for us from Florida, you had to pay a deposit for you to book your apartment, so that by the time you come here, you can pay fully for your apartment and start off life. You need to buy 1, 2, 3 things in your house. You need to buy, you know, a bed or a mattress to start off your life. You know, you need to buy a few things, some pots, you know. When you get to these houses, most of them, they have, you know, they have a cooker, they have a fridge. Some of them have microwaves, some of them do not have. So you just need to buy the basics to start off. So you need an amount of money. And for our case, they asked us to have, I think it was 700,000 before you come to this country. So it all depends with the agency. But just make sure you have a good amount of money for you to be able to survive here. it's very, very overwhelming for you to come here. You do not have money, you do know where to start from. So they encourage you to make sure you have enough money for you to start your life. Fine, you come here and within 2 weeks or so, you've started working and you're paid every 2 weeks. But for convenience purposes, please have money to come start off life. So once we were done with our transition 6 weeks, I came to my state, and after 2 months, my family joined me here. So yeah, so look at your agency. Look at the agency that you want to start working with, so that you're aware of what to expect, so that you're aware of what they are sponsoring you, so that you know what you need to prepare for and what to expect. Are you coming with a different agency that is not Avant, that you're required to pay for everything? Are you coming with an agency that requires to do something different from what I have mentioned from Avant? So work with your agency. Once you have applied, ask them what your expectations are. And they are very good at that. You don't even have to ask them. They'll tell you what to expect, what they expect from you, what your expectations are. And if you have any question for clarification, they are very, very, very ready to answer these questions. So so that's my process, and that's how my process went. And like I said, mine took a whole 3 years. For me to find myself here, it took 3 years. But that was then. I have friends whose process took as short as 1 year, as short as 1 year, 6 months, as short as 2 years. So it all depends. So be psychologically prepared before you start on what to expect, what you require, so that you can be able to do, you can be able to start your process smoothly, and so that you're able to run your process smoothly. They'll guide you step by step on the documents that you need, depending with the specific agency. So guys, that's how I managed to come here, and I started working. I know several people have asked me how it was for me, getting to settle, how it was getting to start working, what are the challenges that I had to go through, when I started working. I'll be preparing another video that will be talking about all those things. What are the challenges that I got with the kids around, my husband working and me working? How was I able to, maneuver my way around here with the kids? I'll be addressing these on another video, and we'll be able to work together. I'll be able to guide you. If any of you has any questions regarding the process, feel free to inbox me, and I'll be able to, handle these questions on individual basis, because maybe I was not able to answer all the questions that you have in your minds. But yeah, please feel free, subscribe for you to be able to hear more of what I'll be talking about. I want to tell you guys, it's busy over here. It's busy. I may not be able to, answer all your questions right away, but I'll try my best when I'm off. I work night shifts, so I come home, I'm tired. I have kids to attend to when they come back from school, so I need to catch as much sleep as I can, so that when kids are back home, I'm able to help them with homework and everything else. So this is America. This is United States of America. We do not have nannies. We do not have helpers, siblings around to help us. So time management is a thing around here. You have to manage your time very well for you to be able to survive. So yeah, guys, so that's how I managed to come here. Let's catch up next time. Be on the lookout. I'll be posting something else very soon. Bye bye.